September 30th, the night before the archery opener, I got to watch some deer out the back window of my barn window for about an hour before dark. So looking back into the field, the first thing I notice is some brown bodies back in the southeast corner. And there are at least two bucks there, maybe three, and there's a doe family back towards the back. They're just coming out. The bucks preceded them into that field. And now the bucks are taking notice and turning around to move back there towards the doe family. Here they are milling around, but that one buck, you can see his head keep coming up. He's paying very close attention to what that doe family's doing. Over across the field, we got another doe family coming across. This is a group I'm familiar with. It's a mom in the front there with her three triplets that I see quite often back there. The only problem is it looks like mom has a little bit of a limp. I don't know if she ran into somebody during the youth season. You can see the fawns scampering around as they come from the open field into the heavy cover of my place. Now here we're starting to get a little activity. There's a fawn there that just ran across, and I think it's being bothered, and it also wonders where's mom, because mom, if you look down at the lower left, has sneaked away from those bucks, and you can see her two fawns coming behind her now. And the other mom and triplets have made it into a food plot over towards the southwest, and they're milling around. Now, this buck back here has become aware that that doe moved, and he's kind of coming in that direction. He's going to disappear. The other buck back behind him is going to hang around back there. And here he is now starting to walk back the other way. Comes up to this tree, works a licking branch over there, sniffs a scrape, and in the meantime, the doe and fawns are taking it easy in this brassica plot. Back over here we have the mom and triplets still in the food plot. You can see they're isolated from each other. These deer are aware of each other, but they really can't see each other. You can see one of the fawns going off to the left there. And if you look down towards the bottom of the screen, there was a deer that just went across there to the right. Don't know what it was. Now I jumped across the building and I'm looking out the front window across at my mother-in-law's CRP field, and I've got two bucks over there, but not a lot of activity in that field. So I came back on over to watch these deer. Now there's 4 deer in this brassica plot. And over in this other plot, these deer have started to move. Something's bothering them. You can see one standing looking, but the others are over here. They've run off to the left, and now they get real nervous and take off. And I think there's another buck bothering them. And in fact, my neighbor Jack at about the same time saw a big buck come out off to the right of this picture. I didn't see it because I was busy, but look at how these deer are alert to these other deer moving in, but the other deer segregate themselves into a different food plot. There's going to be a conflict if they both end up in that little food plot together. So the deer on the right, the adult deer, flicks her tail, everything's okay. She watched everything that went on. She's not concerned as long as they stay over there in the corn. Now she comes over this way and becomes aware of something else going on. Watch her get alert now looking over this way, but that's because that buck is coming through. She flicks her tail so everything's okay, but now look to the left, you can see him on top of the berm there, and he jumps down. And he's on the prowl, he's coming into her food plot now. And by the time he gets there, she's gone. There's another group of deer coming back behind him into the original food plot, and this is a group of does. So this is at least our 3rd group of does that's been in this little 8-acre area. And he comes into the plot and he's looking around, and she sensed him coming, so she took the fawns and she came down into the foreground here a little bit. And he's coming in here and going, what happened? Where is everybody? Huh? I'm all alone. Well, it's pretty simple what happened. While he was working his way from this food plot through here, she heard him and she took her young ones and came around here and went between the sorghum and these apple trees. And once he came down in here, she was gone already. So this is how these deer are using this compartmentalization to socially separate each other. This doe does not want to hang around the bucks, harass and bother her fawns, and they bother her too. She just doesn't want to be around them. So now she's feeding in behind here. He's wondering what happened to her. And the next thing I see is they come out here. Well, now they're right in the yard. They're in this yard food plot. And he follows behind them over here. And in the meantime, they've walked along here like this. And they circle back in right into where they want to feed. So they're now over in here, and they can continue to work their way around as he follows them. In the meantime, he shows up over here and spends his time on a mineral lick that's right here. Now in Michigan, we're allowed to have minerals within 100 yards of our house for viewing, and this provides great opportunity for my wife and I to watch the deer come up in here. And that's what he did. In the meantime, a doe came and she stood right up here on top of this mound for about 10 minutes. Now it was too dark for me to video all this, but again, what we've got is this compartmentalization that allows several doe families to be out there at once, that allows these bucks to track on them, because these deer cannot see each other from one of these food plots to the other. It's completely surrounded by heavy cover. This forces buck movement, it forces doe movement, it prevents the overlap of deer that otherwise would not socialize with each other.